In this video, I wanted to show you a quick tip that I use as an occupational therapist who works with students on handwriting needs and fine motor skills. And this is an activity that I talked about in our letter C worksheet video where we talked about strategies and tips to form letter C. This is an activity that you might have saw if you watched that video. And if you didn't, check that video out because we cover a lot of tips and tricks for forming that letter. However, one of those strategies came about just quickly because I needed to erase some things on the dry erase board and I didn't have a paper towel with me. So one of the ways that I like to have students erase when they're writing on a dry erase board is using craft pom-poms. We do this for several reasons. And I thought it would be helpful if we made a video just on how to use this as a strategy in your toolbox and why this is important. Now, the therapists that work in schools, if you're like me, you probably have a trunk of your car that is full of materials like pencil pouches and pencil bins. Maybe you have even luggage, and you have all of these materials that you're carrying around from building to building. You have stickers and pencils and pony beads and all kinds of sorts of things. But you might not have the same materials every time. You might not have everything that you need on hand. And you need a space where you can carry materials that can be used in many different ways. One of those things is craft pom-poms. They're really small. They don't take up a lot of space in your supplies, and you can use them for so many different things. For the student that is working on fine motor skills, pencil grasp and pencil control and just strength and coordination of their hands, this is probably a lot of our kids in the OT sessions. So this material can be used to target all of those different things, plus more. So what we're going to use is pick up a craft pom-pom. I have small ones, but these come in larger sizes. They come in even smaller sizes than this. I have two different sizes right here. So I'm going to show you how I can just erase using my craft pom-pom. I have a bunch of lines here. I have different shapes. I have curves. We were working on letter C, as you can see. And this craft pom-pom can be used as a small eraser that just wipes that away. So you can have your students work on letters, writing shapes, copying shapes, writing their name, whatever they need to work on. But then instead of using a paper towel or a dry erase board eraser that uses the whole hand to erase, this one we're going to use just our fingertips. Ask your students or your learners to push right along those lines. And you need to push a bit because if you don't push hard enough, there's a little bit of residue left over. So you want to encourage your students to really make that disappear, completely erase it. Now you'll see that the board it's going to need a little cleanup afterwards, but the point is we're getting our students to work on motor planning skills. We're working on fine motor skills and hand strengthening skills just by doing this. And plus, if they're working on like copying forms for visual motor skills, then you can have them get one more repetition in where they might not realize that, yes, they are still practicing, but they're also doing the job of erasing this and getting it cleaned up. And that's kind of motivating for our students. It's kind of interesting and different. So many of the students that I've worked with, they've really enjoyed this because they're like, what? You want me to erase with that little craft pom-pom? Oh, how does that work? Oh, let me check it out. And then they're interested. So it's motivating and meaningful. So you can use different colors, different shapes, sizes, or different sizes. If you're working on pencil grasp, okay, this is not an ideal pencil grasp because you need to pinch. You don't exactly use the supporting fingers, but you're really working on the open thumb web space. For example, if you're holding a pencil, ideally you have that open thumb web space because it allows for distal finger control, mobility, and precision in pencil pencil stroke. So when you're writing with a pencil in a small space, you're using the fingertips as opposed to a squashed pencil grasp. Let me see if I can move out a little bit here, where the pencil is squished up against the side of the hand and there's less control in the fingertips. It's still functional. Okay, that's a different topic. However, if you're working on these motor skills, pulling the pencil out so it's more mobile, those fingertips need to be able to access the pencil. And with a squashed pencil grasp, they don't get it. You might see pencil grips like this. You might see between the fingers, all kinds of different things. And like I said, those can work for students. They can be functional. However, if you are working on distal motor control, fine motor skills, and hand strength, opening that web space is really going to help you move along here. Okay, so when you're holding that craft pom-pom, you can see a nice round, oval shaped open web space here, right? You're also working on, you have a pincer grasp, which is the tip or the pad of the thumb and the tip or the pad of the index finger. You have to put a little pressure so that you can erase those lines, but you're really giving proprioceptive input through the fingertips and through even up in the joints up here, okay? That's really great for strengthening the hands and skills like pencil pressure, knowing how to form a letter even without looking at every single pencil stroke. That's all pencil proprioceptive input playing a role. So another component here is that you can see you need to push with these two fingers, right? The other fingers are curved in. They are kind of supporting the hand. They are tucked in here, and this is a really great fine motor task. So many of the tasks that we use, like beading, threading beads onto string, or tying shoes, we have the same grasp pattern. You have the fingers doing the fine motor work, the precision work, and you have the fingers underneath supporting, offering a stable base to the hand. This task really works on that. Now, if you have the student that kind of has the fingers flailing out to the side, they're getting some of this components, but they're not getting the full benefit. And what you would want to do is have them tuck one or even a couple craft pom-poms into the palm of their hand, and then have them erase with the craft pom-pom. Now they're getting the full benefit with the supporting hand, the fingers, and then the precision fingers. Okay, so then one more thing that I wanted to talk about is arch support. Now you can see when you look at a hand, you have, and it kind of curves up here, it curves down here, and then it curves here. These are the arches of the hands. We have a blog post on the OT Toolbox specifically about the arches of the hands and how those arches are needed to hold items in your hand, how it cups your hand into a little container to hold items. But those arches are really at work no matter what you're doing. If you're holding a pencil, if you're erasing, if you're turning the pencil over and erasing, those arches are always at work there, right? You maybe don't notice that and realize it, but in order to have those arches defined, otherwise you have a flat, flaccid hand that's kind of like not offering tone through the hand and support stability and control. So this curved activity, you can see that my hand is curved here, and curved here. We've got all of the arches engaged. We're really working on defining those arches so that we have strength through endurance in this activity. And then it will carry over because you're strengthening those muscles inside the hand, the intrinsic muscles, and also extrinsic. So this activity, I hope this has been helpful. It's really a great one. So like I said, you can copy letters, you can erase them, There's so many ways that you can work on many skills of handwriting, fine motor skills, visual motor skills, just with this simple item. So if you have any questions, be sure to check out the links that we have below that explain some of the underlying skill concepts, and try this activity. Add the craft pom-poms to your therapy toolbox if you haven't already. And that's one more tip and trick to work on the skills that we use to help kids thrive. So that's all for today. I'll see you next time. Bye.